Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's class, we'll prepare cost sheet. Let's start the problem number 2. Sahi Company Limited manufactures a standard product. Prepare statement of cost and profit. Point A. Raw material consumed is rupees 45,000. So directly they have given here that is raw material consumed is 45,000. Next is direct labor 27,000. Machine hour worked is 900 hours. So this machine has worked for 900 hours and machine hour rate is rupees 50. Point E. Administrative overhead is 20% on works cost. So administrative overhead, how much we have to charge? 20% on works cost. So whatever the works cost amount we will get, of that 20% we have to take as administrative overhead. F. Selling cost is rupees 1.50 per unit. That is 1 rupee 50 paise per unit. That is selling and distribution cost. G. Unit produced is 15,000 units. So during this period, how many units are produced? 15,000 units. And the last point is units sold 14,000 units at rupees 12 per unit. So during this period, how many units are produced? 15,000 units. And out of that, how many units are sold? 14,000 units are sold. So how much remain? 1,000. Correct? Total 15,000 units were produced. Out of that, 14,000 units are, that is 14,000 products are sold. So now in Goda, we will find 1,000 units. That is the closing stock. Clear all these points? Let's prepare the statement of cost and profit. Heading Statement of cost and profit. Columns are particulars, total cost. So first what we have to take? Raw material consumed. So write here material consumed or raw material consumed amount is 45,000. Write in amount column 45,000. So after material consumed, what we have to take? Direct labor, direct expenses, direct labor, direct wages, direct material. All these things we have to take before prime cost. So right here direct labor and the amount is 27,000. Add these two amounts. 45,000 plus 27,000 and the total is 72,000. So the total of raw material consumed plus direct expenses, direct wages or direct material is called prime cost. So in this problem we have material consumed and direct labor and total of these two items is called prime cost, that is 72,000. So after prime cost what we have to take? Add factory overhead. Add factory overhead. So in factory, what we do? In factory, the raw materials are converted into final product. Yes. So whatever the expenses incurred for manufacturing the product. So all these expenses we have to take under the head factory overhead. So in fact, use machine, plant, etc. So in this problem, they have given, read the point C. Machine hours worked is 900 hours and machine rate per hour is rupees 50. ಒಂದು machine ಅನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ತಾಸು ರನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ 900 hours. And this rate per machine, the machine rate per hour. So 1 ಗಂಟೆ machine run ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ total expenses ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರ್ತದೆ rupees 50. So we have to find out the total factory overhead amount, that is 900 into 50. So right here add factory overhead. This machine is work for how many hours? 900 hours. And rate per hour. 1 hour in a rate ಎಷ್ಟಾಗತ್ತೆ? Rupees 15. So we have to calculate the total hour rate. That is 900 hour rate. Do this calculation. showing bracket 900 hours into rupees 15 and the total is 13,500. So the factory overhead amount is 13,500. Add these two amounts 72,000 plus 13,500 and the total is 85,500. It is called works cost. So after works cost, we have to take administrative overhead or office overhead. Right here, add administrative overhead. See point E. Administrative overhead is 20% on works cost. So administrative overhead, how much we have to charge? 20% on works cost. Just now we have got works cost, correct? Works cost is 85,500. Yes. The total of prime cost plus factory overhead is called works cost. So works cost is 85,500. So 20% of 85,500, that is 20% of works cost we have to take as administrative overhead. So works cost amount ಎಷ್ಟಾಗಿದೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಂದಿದೆ 85,500 ಅದರ 20% ಅನ್ನ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು administrative overhead ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. Show here calculation right in bracket. Works cost amount is 85,500 into 20%. Mention in the problem 20%. Calculate this. 85,500 into 20%. You will get 17,100. So 20% of works cost will be 17,100. 17,100 is the administrative overhead. Add these two amounts. 85,500 plus 17,100 and the total is 1,02,600. This is called cost of production. So after cost of production, what we do? We take information related to finished goods. That is, opening stock of finished goods is to be added and closing stock of finished goods is to be deducted. In this problem, they have not given information related to opening stock of finished goods. But by certain information, we can calculate closing stock of finished goods. And this value, the value of closing stock of finished goods, we have to deduct from the cost of production amount. So see the point G and H. So in during this period, how many units are produced? 15,000 units, correct? So out of this 15,000, how many units are sold? 14,000. So total 15,000 15,000 units ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅದರದ್ದು 14,000 units ಅನ್ನ ಮಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸೊ ಉಳಿದೆಷ್ಟೀಗ 1,000 units. So this 1,000 units is the closing quantity, the closing stock of finished goods. So this is the quantity. We have to calculate the value of these 1,000 units. Let's prepare the note number 1. Note number 1. Calculation of value of closing stock of finished goods. First, we have to calculate the closing stock quantity. So, right here, unit produced. So, during this period, how many units are produced? 15,000 units. Less number of units sold. Less sold. So, how many units are sold? 14,000 units. So from this 15,000 minus 14,000, you will get 1,000 units. So this is the closing stock quantity. Closing stock quantity is 1,000 units. Next, we have to calculate the value of these 1,000 units. So the formula is value of closing stock of finished goods is equal to, or you can write value of closing stock is equal to cost of production divided by quantity produced into closing stock quantity. Okay, all these formulas I have already explained you in previous videos. So you can refer my previous videos for all these information. Formula is value of closing stock is equal to cost of production divided by quantity produced into closing stock quantity. Cost of production. So this cost of production where you will get? In problem or in solution? In solution. Yes. See here cost of production. Cost of production amount is 1,02,600. Correct? See in the solution cost of production. That is 1,02,600. So right here 1,02,600 divided by quantity produced. So during this period, how many units are produced? 15,000 units. Right here, 15,000 units into closing stock quantity. Just we have calculated. That is 1,000 units is the closing stock quantity, the closing stock of finished goods. Right here, 1,000 units. Calculate this. 1,02,600 into 1,000 divided by 15,000. You will get 6,840. 6,840 is the value of closing stock of finished goods. And this amount we have to deduct from cost of production. Come to solution part, cost sheet, right here, less closing stock of finished goods. Amount is 6,840. Just we have calculated in note number 1. 6,840. From this 1,02,600 minus 6,840, you will get 95,760. This is called cost of goods sold. Next head is add selling and distribution overhead. Read point F. Selling cost is rupees 1 rupee 50 paise per unit. So the selling and distribution cost is 1.50 per unit. Okay, on 1 unit per unit. Here they have mentioned per unit. So on 1 unit, the selling cost is 1.50. So how many units are sold during this period? 14,000. Okay. 1 unit selling cost is 1.50. And during this period, how many units are sold? 14,000. So we have to calculate selling and distribution overhead on number of unit sold and not on number of units produced. Okay, 1 unit sell ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ selling cost ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರ್ತದೆ? 1 rupee 50 paise. So ಎಷ್ಟು units ಅನ್ನ ಅವರು ಮಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ? 14,000. ಎಷ್ಟು ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಎಷ್ಟು ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅವರು ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. On that we have to calculate the selling and distribution overhead. So right here add selling and distribution overhead in bracket right. So the number of units sold is 14,000. Okay, selling and distribution overhead we have to calculate on the number of units sold and not on number of units produced. ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಎಷ್ಟು ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ on that we have to calculate this selling and distribution overhead. So number of units sold is 14,000 into rate per unit is the selling cost per unit is rupees 1.50. Multiply this 14,000 into 1.50 and the amount is 21,000. So the total selling and distribution overhead on this 1400 unit is 21,000. Add these two amounts. 95,760 plus 21,000. Total is 1,16,760. This is called cost of sales. Or you can write total cost. Total cost or cost of sales is 1,16,760. Next we have to take add profit and sales. So in this problem they have given information related to sales and not profit. Profit we have to find out. Sales. See the last point H. Units sold is 14,000 units at rupees 12 per unit. So how many units they have sold? 14,000. And the rate per unit is rupees 12. So total ಎಷ್ಟು units ಅನ್ನ ಮಾರಿದಾರೋ 14,000. So one unit ಅನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು rupees ಗೆ ಮಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ? Rupees 12. So we have to calculate the total sales of these 1400 units, and that will be the sales amount. So right here sales. So the number of units sold is 14,000. So one product anna one unit anna ಎಷ್ಟು rupees ಗೆ sell ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ? Rupees 12. So now total ಈಗ 14,000 product in 14,000 units in a sales amount ಅನ್ನ calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. For that what we have to do? 14,000 into 12. You will get 1,68,000. So the total sales amount is 1,68,000. From this 1,68,000 minus 1,16,760. Okay, the sales amount is 1,68,000 less total cost amount. Less total cost amount, that is cost of sales is 1,16,760. So minus this from 1,68,000 minus 1,16,760, and you will get the difference amount 51,240. This is called profit. Okay, the profit is 51,240. Balancing figure. Like this, you have to prepare the cost sheet and you have to find out the profit amount. Thank you, friends.